Welcome to my channel. Support us by subscribing. Your subscription helps us grow and create more engaging content like this. Now, let's dive into today's story. Liam Carter, a talented 35-year-old architect, has a deep love for art and precision. Reserved yet kind, Liam pours his heart into everything he values, especially his marriage. However, his world begins to fall apart when he uncovers his wife's betrayal. Sophie Bennett, a 33-year-old marketing executive, exudes charisma and ambition. However, her confident exterior hides insecurities. Her impulsive nature often drives her to make reckless decisions with devastating consequences. Aidan Miller, Sophie's colleague, is a 38-year-old with a charming exterior but a manipulative core. Aidan thrives on power dynamics and frequently exploits others for personal gain. Emma Davis, Liam's college best friend and confidant, is a fiercely loyal and empathetic 34-year-old. She becomes Liam's pillar of strength during his most challenging moments. Liam Carter lived a life of routine. His morning started with a steaming cup of coffee, a brisk jog to the neighborhood park, and a gentle kiss on Sophie's forehead before heading to his architecture firm. Sophie, his wife of 5 years, was his anchor and muse. To Liam, their life seemed perfect. But over the past few months, Liam noticed subtle changes. Sophie, once eager to spend evenings talking or watching movies, had grown distant. Her laughter felt forced. Her phone was constantly in her hand, and she always tilted the screen away from him. At first, it seemed innocent. Late nights at work became more frequent. Big campaign deadlines, she would explain, her voice brimming with excitement about her job. Liam, trusting her implicitly, offered his unwavering support. "You're amazing at what you do, Soph. I'm proud of you," he would say, kissing her cheek. One evening, Liam planned a special dinner to celebrate their 5th wedding anniversary. 2 hours before dinner, Sophie called, her tone hurried. "I'm so sorry, Liam. Something came up at work. Rain check." Liam's heart sank, but he brushed it off. Everyone has busy seasons at work, right? Then came the anonymous text. Late at night, as Liam reviewed plans for an upcoming project, his phone buzzed. "Your wife isn't as loyal as you think. Check her messages." His chest tightened as he stared at the message, his thoughts racing. Could this be a prank? A cruel joke? For hours, he debated ignoring it. But something nagged at him. Sophie's growing distance, her secretive behavior. It all suddenly made sense. That night, as Sophie fell asleep, Liam hesitated before unlocking her phone. He felt guilty for invading her privacy, but curiosity and fear overwhelmed him. His hands trembled as he scrolled through her messages. The texts weren't vague. They were explicit. Flirtatious words and photos exchanged with a man named Aidan filled the screen. Liam's breath caught when he read their last conversation. "Can't wait for our weekend getaway. Liam's so busy, he won't even notice." For a moment, Liam froze. The betrayal hit him like a physical blow. He closed the phone, his heart pounding. Everything he thought he knew about his marriage crumbled in an instant. Scene 2, the fallout. The next morning, Liam confronted Sophie. The tension in the air was palpable as she entered the kitchen, humming to herself. He placed her phone on the counter. "Who's Aidan?" he asked, his voice calm but cold. Sophie's smile faltered. "What are you talking about?" Liam unlocked her phone and opened the messages. "This," he said, turning the screen toward her, his hand trembling. Sophie's face turned pale. "Liam, she stammered, searching for an excuse. "It's not what you think. Don't insult my intelligence, Sophie," Liam snapped, his voice cracking with hurt. "You lied to me. You betrayed me." Tears filled Sophie's eyes. "I made a mistake. It didn't mean anything, Liam. I was lonely. You've been so busy with work. Don't you dare blame this on me," Liam interrupted, his anger boiling over. "I've always supported you, always trusted you, and this is how you repay me." The argument escalated raw emotion spilling out. Sophie tried to explain, to justify her actions, but Liam couldn't hear it. By the end of their heated exchange, he made his decision. "I can't do this," Liam said, his voice breaking. "You chose him over us. I'm filing for divorce." Sophie collapsed into a chair, sobbing, but Liam walked away. He packed a small bag and left their home, the place that once held so many memories. Liam moved into a modest apartment, far from the suburban neighborhood where he and Sophie had built their life. He poured himself into work, using long hours to numb the pain. At night, though, the silence was deafening. He replayed their happiest moments, trying to reconcile the Sophie he loved with the one who had betrayed him. Emma Davis, his college best friend, stepped in as his lifeline. She'd always been there for him, but now her support was unwavering. "You don't have to go through this alone," she said one night, bringing over Chinese takeout. "I'm here whenever you need to talk or scream or whatever helps." Meanwhile, Sophie's relationship with Aiden seemed to flourish, or at least that's how it appeared on social media. Her posts painted a picture of a happy couple. Cozy dinner dates, weekends at the beach, and romantic selfies. Liam couldn't help but check her profile, even though it tore him apart. But behind the scenes, Sophie's world was unraveling. Aiden wasn't the man she thought he was. His charm had given way to control. He monitored her every move, criticized her for the smallest things, and dismissed her feelings at work. Sophie overheard colleagues whispering about Aiden's past relationships. "He's done this before," one woman said. "Gets involved with women, strings them along, then moves on when he's bored." Sophie tried to ignore the warnings, but cracks began to form in her relationship with Aiden. He became distant, spending more time on his phone, his attention clearly elsewhere. One evening, Sophie confronted him. "Are you seeing someone else?" she asked, her voice trembling. Aiden smirked. "You're being paranoid, Sophie. Don't start acting desperate." The words cut deep. For the first time, Sophie felt the weight of her choices. She had destroyed her marriage for a man who didn't value her. It was a cold, rainy evening when Sophie stood outside Liam's apartment building, clutching an umbrella in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other. Her reflection stared back at her in the glass door, a tired, regretful woman who barely recognized herself. She took a deep breath and pressed the buzzer. Liam's voice crackled through the intercom. "Who is it?" "It's me," Sophie replied, her voice trembling. A long pause followed, then the door buzzed open. Liam was waiting at his apartment door, his expression unreadable. Liam looked different, leaner, stronger, more composed. Sophie stepped inside, the warmth of his apartment contrasting sharply with the chill outside. "What do you want, Sophie?" Liam asked, his tone neutral but firm. I made a mistake, Liam," she said, setting the bottle of wine on the table. Her voice cracked. "Aiden, he wasn't who I thought he was. He used me, and now he's gone. I realize now what I threw away." Liam crossed his arms, leaning against the counter. "And you think coming here will fix that?" Sophie's tears began to fall. "I'm not asking you to forgive me overnight," she said, her voice breaking. I want you to know I'm sorry. I hurt you, and I've regretted it every day since you left." Liam stared at her, his emotions swirling. Part of him wanted to lash out, to remind her of the sleepless nights and the betrayal that had torn his life apart. But another part, a calmer, wiser part, knew he didn't need to. He had already moved on in ways Sophie couldn't see. "I appreciate the apology," he said finally. "But Sophie, this isn't about me giving you another chance. This is about you facing the choices you made. I've worked too hard to rebuild my life to go back to where we were." Sophie's shoulders slumped. "I understand," she whispered. I hope someday you'll think of me without hating me." "I don't hate you," Liam replied softly. "But I can't let you back into my life either. Take care of yourself, Sophie." She nodded, her face etched with regret, and walked out of his apartment, leaving the wine behind. With Sophie gone for good, Liam felt an unexpected sense of peace. Her visit, though emotionally taxing, gave him the closure he didn't know he needed. Emma remained a constant source of support, and over the months, their bond grew stronger. One sunny afternoon, Emma invited him to an art exhibit in the city. "You've been cooped up in your office too long," she teased, dragging him along. As they wandered through the gallery, Liam felt a spark of inspiration reignite. The vibrant paintings and intricate sculptures reminded him of his own passion for art, one he had set aside for years. "I miss this," he said, admiring a piece. Emma smiled. "Then do it. You're so talented, Liam. Don't let this stay in the past." Her words stayed with him. That evening, Liam set up an old easel in his living room and began sketching. Hours flew by as he lost himself in the creative process, feeling a joy he hadn't experienced in years. A few weeks later, Emma joined him for dinner. Over a bottle of wine, she confessed something she had been holding back. "I didn't want to say this while you were still healing," she began, her voice hesitant. "But I've always cared about you, Liam. More than just as a friend." Liam set his glass down, surprised but not uncomfortable. He realized Emma had also deepened his own feelings. "Emma, you've been my rock through everything," he said, smiling. "I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel the same way." Their relationship blossomed naturally. Emma's kindness and understanding brought out the best in Liam, and he realized he had found someone who truly valued him. Months later, Liam received an unexpected email from Sophie. It wasn't an attempt to rekindle their relationship, but a heartfelt apology. "I wanted to thank you for letting me go that night," she wrote. "It forced me to confront myself and my actions. I'm working on being better, not for anyone else, but for me. I hope someday you can think of me without anger." Liam read the email twice, feeling a sense of finality. He replied with a brief but kind message, wishing her well. Later that week, he and Emma took a weekend trip to a quiet mountain retreat. They spent their days hiking, talking, and simply enjoying each other's presence. One evening, as they stood on a hilltop overlooking the valley, Liam turned to Emma. "Life has a funny way of teaching us what we truly need," he said, holding her hand. "I wouldn't be here without the pain I went through. But now, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else." Emma smiled. Sometimes the hardest chapters lead to the happiest endings. Liam kissed her, feeling a deep sense of contentment. For the first time in years, he wasn't looking back, only forward. Thank you for watching this emotional journey unfold. What did you think of Sophie's attempt to win Liam back? Would you have handled things the same way? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.